Okay, guys. So I want to talk about, and you guys let me know some of your opinions. I want to talk about what I actually like about shadow side teachers, and another person coined it dark wisdom. Now, Kendall St. Charles, you heard the term dark wisdom from her, but actually her mentor coined that term dark wisdom, right? But I want to talk about what I actually appreciate about the messages that come from people who are more on the shadow side. And there's another person like that too. I'm going to call her name. She's a YouTuber, Shira71, and she also has a channel called Ashira Star Goddess. She's another person that's on that shadow side. Okay, another person is Mother Wisdom Tree, and there's some other ones too that I can name, but I can't think of them right off. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I like about their messages. They don't sugarcoat what it took for them to get where they are. So I like to watch some of these mukbang channels, right? And it's a major mukbang channel, right? A young lady who has over 2 million subscribers. I actually like her channel. But people have to be pretty honest about how they get to where they are. And I'm not saying that they did anything crooked to get to where they are. That's not what I'm saying. It wasn't with when a lot of these people who are kind of love and light, right? People who are love and light, and it's not just people in religion, it's people in the love and the light worker community too, the love and light community. They put out the message that it only takes belief in a certain deity. In this case with them, they'll say it just believe in God, just believe in God, and that's fine if that's your channel. But and even in the light worker community, they would talk about, just have a high frequency, just be positive all the time. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have more problem with that light worker community. It's telling you that you just need to be positive all the time. And I actually put out an audio on my other channel called Journey into Highest Potential about that, being balanced versus being positive. How, people just saying being positive and just, thinking positive thoughts and good things come to you because thoughts are things. And so if you think things, negative things happen. If you think negative things happen. And they say if you think good thoughts are happening. If you want something to happen, think about what you want and have a high joy emotion around whatever you want, and it's going to come to pass. Now that's what that light worker community likes to say. So to me, they're a little worse than religion. To me, they're a little worse than religion because you know what? That does not work for everybody. And this is why I have an appreciation for folks on the shadow side, because they tell the truth about this particular earth. Okay, they tell the truth about it. Okay, they don't sugarcoat it. They don't tell you just to think good thoughts. They don't tell you that, if you want something, to just, meditate on what you want and have this joyous feeling around it, and all of a sudden it's just going to materialize. And then if it doesn't materialize in your life, then these love and light people tell you everything that you're doing wrong because it didn't work for you. That's the same thing in certain types of religions, not all. They are too fluffy, airy, love and light. So, you have some of these love and light people that use Tyler Perry as an example, and people like Oprah as an example of how God blesses people, how the God of the Bible blesses people. Just from some of the things that I might know about the entertainment industry, and I don't know a whole lot, but just some of the things I have learned, Tyler Perry and Oprah might not have just got where they are by Jesus Christ. Okay, and this is not a knock to them, because one thing I know, if you look at my channel, Journey into Highest Potential, because I try not to get too spiritual on this channel. Majority darkness is definitely taking over, right? Darkness it's not even. Okay, darkness is really taking over. Okay, and so just saying that just to believe in the God of the Bible or just to believe in Jesus Christ, and then use people like Tyler Perry, to use people like Beyonce, and to use people like Oprah as an example of how God can bless people. Well, they might be using a different type of God. And like I said again, I'm not trying to criticize what they're doing, because they understand the kind of world they live in, and they knew what it took to get to where they are. And those light and fluffy messages, I can't respect it. I can't respect those light and fluffy messages, because yeah, it takes hard work to get to where you are. But a lot of times, you have to know people, and it could have taken something else, especially for celebrities, especially for celebrities. You know, one person said, who's into the metaphysical world. One person said like 85% of celebrities have dark souls, and you might have 10 to 15% who have light souls, but 85% of celebrities have dark souls. And she said that because she's not because she's some kind of religious fanatic. It's because she is a person who actually calls people's souls from the winds to, to look into what's going on with them. And so she can see whether their soul is light or dark. Okay, so this is not about, when she said that, it has nothing to do with any kind of particular religion. She said it because she can see it. And so 85% of a lot of the celebrities have dark souls. And so when you get these people that want to put out light and fluffy messages about how some of these people got to where they are, yeah, they persevered. But they had to do other things to get to where they are. And I don't really respect not being honest about how some people really, really got to where they are. Now, for this particular couple, I do like them. That's on this channel, a mukbang channel. Okay, there's nothing wrong with saying they prayed and interceded and fasted to get their finances together and all that stuff. But that right there, the God that blessed them, that can't be the advice for all people. The reason why I say is because a lot of bad things happen to good people. And so when you say a message, you're saying that, and a lot of people struggle with this. The reason why I'm saying this is not because I'm a Christian. People struggle with the type of message that they feel like, where God does things in his own timing, where God, you have to be prepared for God to bless you. And you have people who have been devoted to this type of religion, and they have suffered a lot of hardships, and they're trying to figure out, why aren't they being blessed in the same way that somebody else is being blessed by this particular God? They're trying to constantly figure out what's wrong with them. That right there, to me, causes depression. And it can make you feel like you don't want to live on this particular planet anymore. Because if you're into that kind of thought process, that kind of religion, where you feel like just God does everything in his time, and this is not to change anybody else's religion. If it is working for you, clearly it worked for them. But it can't, what worked for them can't work for everybody else. And that's the message I'm saying, that what worked for them cannot work for everybody else. Okay? And so their success, it probably took some other things for them to get to where they are. And it doesn't mean that it's things that, are unethical or whatever you want to call it. I'm just saying that it might have taken a little bit of extra things for them to get to where they are. Okay? It wasn't just a particular deity outside themselves who got them to where they are. It took some other type of things on their side too. Okay, but a lot of people have suffered great depression and feeling like the message of God does things in his own time, and you have to be prepared for the blessing that God gives you. You've had people that wait for 30 years on this blessing, and they feeling like, okay, why hasn't God blessed me? It's been 30 years and I'm still waiting. You see what I'm saying? That's when that type of person, that message does not work for them. And they got to get to a place where to do what works for them. And that's why I like shadow side teachers. That's why I like people who talk about dark wisdom. That's why I appreciate them more, because they're not going to just tell you to wait on something outside of yourself and pray to something outside of yourself constantly and wait on that deity outside of yourself to manifest something in your life. They're not going to tell you to do that. They will tell you, some of them, because some of them are into certain practices. They will tell you when you ask for something, something has to be given back in return. Okay? And so it's not to say that some of these other folks are not into different practices. And I'm talking about, it's another woman with a YouTube channel, Dark Wisdom Tree or something. I can't remember. But, they won't, they will tell you you have to do it for yourself. You can't just wait on something outside of you and constantly fasting to something, a deity outside of you. And that's just my opinion on what I appreciate about the messages, is that they're not painting a light and fluffy earth. The earth is clearly being covered by darkness. A lot of people that you meet might seem a certain way, but they're really, to get what you really want in life, to get things done in life, you have to have a certain type of assertive personality. You have to have a certain type of way about yourself. A lot of actors have said to make it in Hollywood, you have to have a certain level of arrogance about you. You have to. So people complain that they meet these actors and these actors are arrogant. That's how they became successful, because a lot of them were arrogant. And so to put a message, to put a light and love, a love and light message on how these people got successful is because they put God in their life. Well, no, a lot of them got to where they are because they weren't no pushovers, okay? And they did have a certain level of arrogance about them. And they probably did have to do some extra things in order to get to where they are. And they're not being honest about that conversation, okay? You can ask Bill Gates, ask Warren Buffett, because another thing I notice about people with the love and light messages, whether it's from religion or whether it's from that light worker community, they'll make it seem like getting money and stuff is a product of, is a result of putting a particular deity first. In this case, it's God, right? The God of the Bible, or whatever the God that they believe in. You have some people who are religious that paints this picture of, God, a lot of material blessings came from the faith in God, right? It's nothing wrong with that, but is that how Bill Gates was blessed? Is that how Warren Buffett was blessed? Look at the hierarchy. Look at a good close look at the hierarchy, because what I notice is a lot of black people like to say God will bless you with money, and God will bless you with a big house, and God will bless you with a nice car if you just put him first. But there's a hierarchy. So it's a lot of, in this hierarchy, we're aware that, you have Asians and Europeans that are at the very top of this hierarchy when it comes to wealth. Will they tell you that they put God first? And so what I'm saying is, I'm not getting on anybody's belief system, but I have an appreciation for shadow more than I can deal with the love and light message. Because if you say that you get these things in life when you put God first, then Bill Gates must have put God first too. Then Warren Buffett must have put God first. What's that Epstein guy? He was a billionaire even though he committed suicide. But he must have got his billions even though he was having sex with little children. He must have got his billions because he put God first. See, people like to, especially black people, like to look at other folks' success, and they like to give credit to Jesus Christ. So they like to say Oprah has her billions because of Jesus Christ and God, and that is the message I don't respect. Because Oprah would never tell you. Oprah has said many times that Jesus is not the only way, many times. But you got these religious fanatic and I'm going to say black people, that because you see material wealth in these people, you want to put God into their business. You want to put God on their success. And it wasn't, and it's not to say that these people might not have a belief system, but it took more than just believing in some outside deity for them to get to where they are, especially folks like Oprah, Beyonce, Jay-Z. You don't just say that they got their wealth because they put God first. And so the issue I have with Love and Light people is that material wealth just does not come because of a belief, because of Christianity. Okay, what about those Nigerian girls that was kidnapped by Boko Haram? I think that's some kind of Muslim group, a renegade Muslim group. It was a group of Nigerian girls that was kidnapped by them. Those were some devoted Christians right there. Those were some devoted Christians. And, this was a few years ago. And somebody actually put out a message. It was in some kind of newspaper or something. I don't think the girls ever actually had a chance to read it because they were kidnapped. But it was a message to say, telling those girls to fight back and stop praying and stop praying for safety, stop praying for something to come and save you. These people kidnapped these ladies, these girls, to rape them. And these were some devoted Christians. And so that's why I don't have an appreciation for Love and Light messages. What did those girls do wrong that they got kidnapped and raped like that? It is so many women, especially in Africa. It is so many people, not just in Africa, but around the world, that suffer, that pray and fast, and extremely devoted Christians. And I'm just using Christianity as an example. They could have other religions too, right? But the only reason why I'm using Christianity because Christianity is pushed more on other people than any other religion I've seen. Christianity is forced on, it's not forced, but it's kind of pushed on people in a way to tell them that they have to be Christians, they have to believe in this particular God in order to be blessed in life. Okay, that's the reason why I'm using this as an example. Okay, and what about those girls that was kidnapped? Why were they allowed to get raped like that? And then, I can't accept the excuse that, God allowed things to happen to people because he has a purpose. I can't accept getting raped like that by a group of renegade men and possibly, getting a disease, getting pregnant and dying. I can't accept that God would want that to happen. And you're just supposed to accept it because God has his own plan for your life. So you need to accept getting kidnapped and raped. I can't accept that message. And that's why I don't receive those Love and Light messages too well. So that's all I want to say is what I like, basically what I love about shadow teaching versus the Love and Light airy messages. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.